Have you ever wondered why we dream, not what your dreams mean, why your brain bothers building them at all? Watch someone sleeping about 90 minutes in and you'll see it happen. Their eyes start darting behind closed lids, fast, chasing something that isn't there. That's your brain switching into one of the most violent, most active states it'll hit all day, and you're unconscious for every second of it. Blood flow to some regions spikes higher than when you're wide awake. Show someone that readout cold and they'd guess this person was running for their life. But here's the strange part. At that exact moment, your body goes limp. Your brain sends a signal down your spine and switches your muscles off. Think about what that means. For a few minutes at a time, you're fully awake inside your own head and completely paralyzed inside your body. That isn't a glitch, that's protection. Because of what it's about to run, a simulation, and it's built around exactly one thing: you in danger. You're being chased through somewhere you almost recognize. You're falling and the ground never comes. You're back in a class you never studied for, and every single person has turned to look at you. Sound familiar? Of course it does. In the morning it feels ridiculous, but your brain built that on purpose, and it's done it every night of your life. 4 to 6 times a night, about 2 hours in total. Do that math across a lifetime, and by 80 you'll have spent 6 years inside these things. 6 years, now try to name 5 of them. You can't, can you? Nobody can. So what are they for? For most of history we assumed nothing at all. Random noise, leftover static from a resting mind. Freud said hidden wishes, others said prophecy, and honestly, they were all guessing because nobody could actually look inside a sleeping head. We can now, and the real answer is stranger and a lot less comforting than anything they guessed. It's called threat simulation theory, and I want you to notice how simple it is because that's the part that gets unsettling. A Finnish neuroscientist named Antti Revonsuo proposed it in 2000, starting from a question nobody had really asked: what is dreaming actually for? His answer: your dreaming brain isn't resting, it's rehearsing. Picture your ancestors for a second. For almost all of human history, the biggest threat to your survival was being hunted, ambushed, or caught unprepared. And the ones who lived long enough to have kids weren't the calm ones. They'd already imagined the worst and flinched half a second earlier. So evolution handed you a simulator, a private room where you practice being terrified and nothing in it can touch you. And if that sounds like a nice story, here's what makes it hard to dismiss. Researchers collected thousands of dream reports and counted what was inside them. Roughly 2 out of 3 dreams contain something threatening. In your own dreams, you're more likely to be attacked than helped. Sit with that. Falling, being chased, losing control in front of everyone, those aren't random. They're the oldest survival tests your species ever faced. Even that exam nightmare is your brain recycling an ancient script. Exposure, judgment, being unprepared when it matters most. And notice what you never dream about: reading, typing, scrolling. Your simulator was built long before any of that existed, and nobody ever updated it. Here's where it gets uncomfortable. Researchers studied people living through real danger, war zones, violent neighborhoods. Their nightmares weren't more disturbing, they were more accurate, more specific to the actual threats around them. The simulator was calibrating. Children who'd survived real violence dreamed about it constantly. Children who hadn't dreamed about monsters instead. Same machine, different footage. And ask yourself who the main character always is. You never watch from the outside, do you? You're always the one being hunted. Rehearsal only works in first person. So your brain isn't haunting you, it's training you for a war it still thinks is coming. But here's the part almost nobody talks about. And if you take one thing from this video, take this. While that simulation is running, your brain is doing something else at the exact same time. It's deleting. While you dream, your brain is pruning, quietly cutting away the connections it decided you don't need. Think about your day, everything you saw, everything you touched, everything you half noticed. Your brain strengthened connections for all of it. By nightfall, the whole system is running hot. And if it never cleaned up, the signal would drown in the noise. You'd remember everything and understand nothing. It's what a sculptor does. To reveal a shape, you remove everything that isn't the shape. So every single night, your brain is rehearsing catastrophe and cleaning house in the same breath. And there's a mechanical reason you lose the footage. The chemical your brain uses to burn events into long-term memory is switched off while you dream. The projector is running at full power, the recorder is unplugged. That's why 95% of your dreams are gone within minutes of waking up. And no, that isn't your memory failing. Wake someone mid-dream and they'll tell you everything. Wait 5 minutes, most of it's gone. Wait 10 and it's unrecoverable. You felt this happen. That's the system working exactly as designed. The rehearsal was the point. You were never meant to keep it. You wake up with the fear and almost none of the footage. That's why you can spend a whole morning uneasy about something you can't name. Ever had that? The feeling got through, the reason didn't. Which means the dream you actually remember is just the tiny fragment your brain decided wasn't worth deleting. You're not remembering your dreams, you're remembering the leftovers. Okay, here's where it stops being comforting. When real stress hits, a breakup, a death, a deadline closing in, your nightmares don't turn random. They spike and they sharpen. Your brain isn't malfunctioning under pressure. It's raising the training load because it decided the threat level just went up. So read that again. A nightmare isn't your mind breaking. It's your mind taking you more seriously. And if you've got a dream that keeps coming back, this is why. The simulator doesn't repeat a scenario it thinks you've already passed. Drop that one in the comments. I want to see it. In the worst cases, the system gets stuck on. After real trauma, the same night can replay for years, sharpened and rerun long after the danger's gone. A training program with no off switch, drilling you for something that already happened. But remember the deleting, that never turns off either, and it doesn't stay inside your sleep. The exact same pruning system that erases last night's dream spends your entire life quietly erasing your waking memories too. And you've seen the proof your whole life without ever counting it. You can't remember being 2 years old. Not because nothing happened. Those were the most important years you'll ever live. You were learning to walk, to speak, to recognize the people keeping you alive. Gone, all of it, because the wiring mattered and the footage didn't. And it didn't stop there. You've already lost most of the last 10 years, not because those years didn't matter. Because something running quietly in the background decided they weren't the shape worth keeping. And you never got a vote, no warning, no confirmation, no list of what was taken. You just noticed the gaps years later, reaching for something that isn't there. Try it right now. Seriously, stop and try. Pick an ordinary Tuesday from 5 years ago. It's gone and you never felt it go. So the machine that protects you by rehearsing your worst fears is the same machine slowly deleting the only record you have of being alive. So the next time you jolt awake from a nightmare, heart going, I want you to remember something. You're not broken. You're watching proof in real time that something in you is still working to keep you alive. Something that has never once taken a night off, not when you were a kid, not when you were happy, not even on the nights you slept the best. The cost is just built into the design. To protect the you that's coming, it has to keep quietly cutting the you that already happened. And it isn't cruelty, it's a trade. Every system that keeps you sharp has to choose what to let go of. Yours decided long ago that surviving matters more than remembering. Which might be the most honest thing your brain does. It never pretended it was keeping all of you. Tonight, behind your eyes, the simulation runs again, and so does the deletion. You won't remember any of it by morning, and that was never a mistake. That was the plan the whole time. So here's what I'd do. Tomorrow morning, before you even move, write one down, not because it means anything, because it's the only copy that will ever exist and you've got about 4 minutes before it's gone. And I actually want to know, what's the last dream you can still remember? Tell me down in the comments. I read them. And if this changed how you think about your nightmares, subscribe. There's a new one every week.